So a really cool thing in Unity is the ability to ignore collisions between different layers. Right. So let me show you how to do that. We know that our player is in the default layer and our fireball is also in the default layer. So that's not good. We need to make sure that they're in two different layers. So I'm going to put player in the player layer. If you don't have this layer, go to add layer, type in player, and then go back to the player object, go back to layer again, and then select it. Right. So I'm going to assign player to the player layer. This doesn't really matter, but yeah, sure, why not? Okay. And then go to the fireball, and I'm going to assign it to the weapon layer. And again, if you don't have it, add it yourself, and then make sure that you're assigning the layer to the prefab. Okay. Project settings, and then physics 2D. Now here you can define some basic default values for the physics, gravity, default material, various things, and then the thing we really want to take a look right now is the layer collision matrix. Right, so here you can uncheck the interactions between two layers. So for example, I don't want players to interact with weapons. Right? I don't want players to collide with weapons. So I find the player layer, okay, here, and then I find the weapon layer. Now I have one here, I have one here. So the intersection between these two is this box here. So I'm just going to uncheck it. So this way that everything in the player layer and things in the weapon layer, they are not going to collide. Right. So that's good. I don't want those two to collide. Secondly, you can also tell weapons to not collide with each other. Right. So if you want fireballs to sort of just go through each other, we can just do that. Then they won't sort of pile up. Right. So let's uncheck those two and see what happens. Okay, you see that the fireball is just going through the character, and they also don't collide with each other. Unlike before, where they sort of pile up, now they just go through each other. Ooh. Okay, so I think that's the behavior I want. Obviously, depending on your game design, you can decide to have weapons sort of collide with themselves. That might be an interesting mechanism for a sort of puzzle action game. But for now, I'm going to sort of leave that unchecked.